folks, on a Thursday that feels like a Tuesday. Let's get to it. What's going on, chat? Great to see everybody. Let's get this out of the way. As always, TradingView. Look, get the program. It's not even a joke. If you're not on the software, you want to get it, and I'll explain why in a second, but send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. Get with the program, Harmonic Trader, because you get charts like this. Okay, Tesla for the day, up 40. I think that was the last test. And, you know, we're actually 255 currently. I posted this last night when we were plus 20. Now heading up to the hop level. I mean, it's going to be a massive engulfing. So let's really focus in, hunker down. This stuff's going to start, I think it's going to start to fly. So today, we're going to have Lieutenant Ponzi, and he is kind of a crypto specialist, and he's referred me to a lot of these little crap meme coins, and we're going to talk about that garbage. And because, listen, this stuff is, I think it's low-hanging fruit about to bear. So let's not ignore it. I don't understand it. Maybe he can explain it to us. He's got some insights. And if you guys want to shill it, let me know. Put in some symbols. Here we got NASDAQ futures. Just did a beautiful type 2, so I'm a little distracted at the moment. I'm trying to see if this is going to go for the day or if that's it. We're at target 2 already. It was a perfect type 2 on the crab at 65. I've been doing a couple of different things today, so I've been a little busy. Hold on. Let's get out of the replay mode. There you go. Looks like a continuation right there off the 30-second time frame. And I did want to kind of bring a couple things to your attention before we get to the crypto. On the hourly, so we've had some oversold triggers and a big Gartley on the hourly from yesterday. Okay, no confirmation yet on the RTH, but just know if we see some follow through upside, it's coming off of the end of the day yesterday. Right down there, I was in at like 115 yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. Yes, Vegas, I always say that I should have stayed in it, but it's because I always want more. A little hard on myself, but that's how it goes. That's how you get ahead. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Didn't even get a chance to give the shout out. We'll jump over to crypto here in 1 second, but there's a lot going on. Of course, week from Tuesday, the big day. Big day. So it's I don't have any really political thoughts to share. A couple people ask me, like, what happens if? I don't think it's an if, it's just when. I think we're going to go to a character change coming up very soon because people are going to go one way or the other. And it doesn't really matter what the real effect is. It's mass psychology. 1 second. So if the psychology is going to change, we're either going to get super crazy or people are going to, they're going to start throwing stuff away. It's an either or situation. Yes, what's up, Greg? David, Incredible, Nick, Freeze, Neil, Mr. Lake, Desi from Australia. Hey, Donald Jackson, what's up? It's been a while, right? I haven't seen you in the chat in a long time. Of course, Victoria, always here. Thank you, 1977. Great to see you guys. G-Dog from the UK is in the house, and we're going to get Ponzi here in a second. Hey, you know what? I created a list. That's how prepared I am today. Created a meme coin S list. I don't even think we can call this a T coin. This stuff is so degenerate. And I've been looking why do people throw their money in here? And I'm going to put the list in. There's the list of about 50 meme coins that we're going to talk about. If you want to save that to your trading view, please go ahead. Also, again, if you're not on trading view, get on over, get with the program. Send your trading view username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. I also said that if you've taken the trial before, we're going to allow you to take one more trial, but please just no more than 2 trials. Okay, no more than 2 trials. We can't really overload my buddy Chris. He's working hard. And the trials, everything has to be activated and run manually for security purposes. But check that out. So welcome to Degenerate Crypto Gamblers. Hope you're having a great Thursday. I'm on like cup number 3. Get me through the rest of the day. And we really need to talk about, I guess, Bitcoin, since this will be a crypto-dominated discussion. And what were we looking for, as I said it last time, is a 4-hour chart, and that's still the case. And the scenario doesn't change. Look, Bitcoin, it's back up above 67.5, and what we're looking for are muted reactions of course, in the king. And Bitcoin's going to still dominate. It's going to tell us really when everything is ready. Let me get maybe the Binance feed I think is a little better. And here you go. Let me bring this back in. And so what's happening today, what's happening on this 4-hour chart is indicative and continues to be so of what we need to see for the next, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 weeks. That every time this thing sells off, it does so in a muted kind of fashion where all you do is you get a quick move, or you get another quick move, and then you get HSI, Harmonic Strength Index. So 65.5, that's all good. And look, every time we hit, there's HSI there, there's HSI there. And what happened yesterday was that we actually got it complemented with amplified, and that's always a bonus. Where there's HSI right here, okay, only gets to the 50 line. Now, all right, there's an amplified oversold. Other thing, you guys know I love the number 30, and you should too. The number 30 central limit theorem, it is just a basic way to assess what is happening in the zone 30 bars thereafter. We're on a 4-hour chart. Okay, there's the 4-hour chart. What's going on? Sideways to down with 1 and 2 bullish counter readings. Always a good thing. I'm not of the opinion that we're ready to blast. I mean, we're scratching it. We're going to probably knock on the 70K door several times. So don't be surprised. Even if we get to 70,000, the big number, next number is 70,500, 70,300. But we should see this kind of, zigzag up, back down, and keep doing that kind of a thing. It's how you fail a zone. And that's really it. You're looking for that to fail. Even on the 4-hour chart, this is early stuff. Okay, that's just, it doesn't seem like much. Yes, there's a bearish pattern. That big red line, that is our confirmation line. Okay, we just added that 2 weeks ago. And that is helps to confirm. There's the dot, and then with the dot we use the open of the exact bar. It's not easy to see that, so that's why we added the line. That's at 67,800. What's the exact number? 67,878. And we're banging up against that a few times. But you want this to be a muted reaction. You want all of them to be muted reactions, and the 4-hour is your friend. On the hourly, not a heck of a lot. Got a couple of dots here, but I really think the 4-hour is the way to go. The updates on the weekly, I think are probably as significant. And here you go. We're stuck in this zone, but what's going on? Check it out. The HSI is firmly above 50. Firmly. That's good. And again, I would venture to say that you get a close above last week's high, then you really could start moving. You really could start moving. That's above 69 120. 69 120. If you get a bullish candle Sunday night, okay, then no doubt we're going to crack 70 next week and hit that 70,500 number. I've been saying this for a while. It is a stair-step case ever since that last shark on the 4-hour. Let me get the Binance coin chart up. There it is with the big. There it is. There's everything we want to look at. Okay, there's our channel. We talked about that channel for a long time, and we're trying to crack that. It's going to take a few bars to really assert itself, but with last week's bullish engulfing, there's not much to really challenge. Other you're like the in my opinion, I think the easiest way forward, okay, is to the upside. Where can they screw the most people? And that's up. Don't know where my shark is. Looking for my shark. Don't know. Let me check really quick. Bring this on here. We're going to get Lieutenant Ponzi here in a second. Yeah, bring him on. I hope he's listening. We'll call him on the Discord. There you go. There it is. Binance, it's USDT. Where's my shark? Oh yeah, I can't really mess with it today. A lot to get to. And I think there's definitely the best way to start is go here just before we deep dive in. This is going to be our segue to talk to him. I've been saying this for a long time that Total 3 is the index to be watching in addition to Bitcoin. But if you really want to know when this stuff's going to pop, Total 3 has everything that we would want to see. Now, it's not an easy read because you have this ideal type 1 reaction, but it took forever. And then you have a truncated, that's the SAT word I used last session, that just kissed 474. Okay, on the August capitulation, and then green line went on. So that's massive. I mean, it is not an easy read. Please, if you're not looking at the patterns, you're not aware of the confirmation strategies, you're not going to be able to see that. What I need to see is just a push higher, the obvious breakout that I think is coming in a week, maybe 2, but no more. I mean, we're so close, guys. We're so close. And then all your indicators are here that a strong bullish move is going to trigger the big push, bigger push. Okay, let me get him on there. And if you guys have some symbols you want to look at, now's the time to put them in the chat. Okay, okay, you are great. Hold on 1 second. Let me mute this out. Make sure. 1 second. I'm going to bring him in.
Hello? Yeah,
all
I
right.
can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Everybody, big shout out. Lieutenant Ponzi, please. I'm going to give him the proper introduction here. And hope you guys are ready to talk some real low life degenerate coins. First of all, everyone get over to X. We don't call it Twitter anymore. Lieutenant Ponzi is the handle. If you don't know how to spell lieutenant, it's P-O-U-T-E-N-A-N-T, Ponzi, because that's what we're dealing with. So get with Lieutenant Ponzi. Please say hello. We've had him back once before, and he's the one that got me on the other, off the boomer exchanges. And so now I'm able to dive deep into these kind of coins. And I also I created the list. There's a meme coin list, and let me put that back in so you guys can add. We're going to talk these. There you go. That's my trading view list of the meme coins, and we'll probably add some as we go. Just a lot going on. And why don't you kick it off as I put up the granddaddy Doge? Why don't you give us a couple of minutes of how you see these meme coins and why? That's my question. Why are you guys, you younger generation people, in what is the allure of the meme coins?
Yeah, 100%. So nice to meet everybody and be here again. So thanks for having me back, Scott. But ultimately, I think it's just the way to look over it is just you have meme coins and you have all your tech alts and everything like that too. And I think the meme coins this cycle have kind of showed us that people don't really care about the tech as much, and a lot of them are here to just kind of have fun and look for that big win that they have with a lower risk. I also think it is more of the attention span with people in the younger generation. A lot of meme coins, I like to think of it as a casino. And if you're going to sit at a table where you have all of these bigger accounts like VCs, the founders, the KOLs, taking supply and then having a token that's super inflated that hits the market. The people that get in on the private rounds are already up like 100x and it's super inflated. So at the casino, if they're taking a large rake from you, why not just create your own table and play at your own table where you have coins getting released and you take out the private investors so everybody gets it at fair market value. Because one thing that people have been doing, and I see it all the time now, like with all these new altcoins that are coming out, you see them coming out with like billions of dollars of evaluation, and then you watch them as soon as they hit the exchanges go 90%. So when you see these coins go 90%, like, I mean, there's a ton of them that just got released this cycle. And then you can go back and look at the charts. They go down 90%. Private investors are still up 10 to 100x on these coins, but retail thinks they're at a discount because they're down 90%. So they start piling back into them. I think with the meme coins, like you can get in at that point earlier, and it's more fair. So I think people have been doing that, and people are having fun with it. They see like cults, basically, like they're focusing on that. They can relate with people with it. They're using terminology that these younger kids use, and some of the stuff I've never heard before, but they're just forming around it and they're investing in those coins versus some of these other alts. And I think that's most of the reasons why it's happening. Um, but that's what I see from my side, Scott.
I appreciate that. I have mentioned before that Doge was a big winner for me last cycle, and all I knew is somebody told me about that Elon Musk was talking about it, and Bitcoin had started its big move, and that's, I had jumped in, and you can go back on my Twitter feed and see what I was saying about it. But I don't need, again, it's a very small portion of what I do, but the potential returns are pretty sick. And I've gone through that once before. I don't rationally, fundamentally, other than people thinking that, hey, everyone's bailing in, and I just want to go with the most popular one because they don't even understand crypto. But these are pretty sick market caps. I mean, Doge at 20 billion, Shiba Inu at 10 billion, Pepe at 4, Dog with Hat. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, 2.5 billion. Where can that go? I think it's, even the bonk thing at 1.6, Popcat, Floki, and then you get to Brett and Myro. So, and some of those had phenomenal patterns in the first half, and I would still be of that opinion that where it's you have to have you have to be let this stuff come out. I think you have to let it trade for a few months at a minimum, even if it's brand new. Because if you're chasing, you're going to get screwed. But you've got stuff like, yeah, look at this cats in a dog world. I mean, logically, I would say that, and I'd be like, okay, if that went to zero tomorrow, it would be, I would have to say, yeah, I was really stupid. But you've got people shilling it. I think people don't understand, so they're just trying to pile in. But I'd be more of the opinion of these lower cap. I think under a billion or a couple 100 million. Um, yeah, are probably what you should be looking at. Sure, Doge might go to back to 30 cents, stuff like that. But if we're looking for the massive winners, I think, I don't know, maybe you can help me out on that. But, what do you think? Is it more, should we be looking more at market capitalization for those that have yet to move? Or what's a good source for what's going to be hot?
Yeah, so I mean, it all depends. Like, there's crypto is very like narrative driven too, and then a lot of these meme coins, like Giga and Mog and some of these other ones, like they just really have like a cult following, and there's a bunch of things you can look at with like the holder count and everything on top of just the patterns too. I mean, even like PopCat and some of these, you're seeing them coming out with more and more meme coins than we've ever seen. Like there's like 5,000 plus coins a day being made
A
onto the
day?
market. So it's yeah, there's like it's way more than any other cycle that we've been through. I mean, there's just so many. So sometimes it's hard to figure out which ones, but I mean, I've had success with finding patterns on these larger ones, and then going from there. I mean, even with WIF at the beginning of this early stage of the cycle, there was a pattern around like 10 cents on it. I don't know if you can even see it on the exchanges because it was you would have to go to like a deck screener to actually see it before it gets added to the exchange. But I saw the hype around it on X or Twitter and was able to enter on a pattern around 10 cents. But Deck Screener would be a very good source that I can cover with you too, just to be able to chart things prior to it coming out. But the only risk is you got to figure out which ones do have the cult following and everything. But like I said, I do see a lot of memes that are getting a lot more market share than some of these other coins that are coming out at the moment, and that could switch when Total Three really starts to take off because I've been focusing on that as well. Um,
Here's
but yeah,
your
that's pretty much what I'm looking at. But I mean, you have to figure out which one has like the narrative going for it because there's so many of these that they might perform, but they might not perform as well as some of the others. So it's about being selective with them too. Some of the ones I've been pretty selective on were like Mog and the APU one that you had pulled up.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just because they interacted a ton with any of my tweets that I had and stuff like that. And I could just see that there was actually like a cult following pretty much being built around it, around a meme coin. And that showed me that the people are going to hold on to it. They don't want to sell, and they think it's going to go a lot higher. The the thing is with evaluating these, it's a little bit harder than like an actual company, and typically what you're used to or what I'm used to as well.
Yeah, you would think there's something fundamental behind it. I think this is where the patterns probably are more effective than anything else. Probably with something like this, you want to look. I would break it down 4 hour or even hourly patterns, because if we're going to launch, then this should already be happening. And as I've done for all of the crypto, even Doge and stuff like that, is you're just looking at an established range. I mean, this is APU, USDT, APU. That I would just think, okay, if this is going to really go, then once it, you're looking for a retracement, for a pullback, to jump on that for a minimum 1618. I think it's just if this is all psychology, that's the easiest way I would read it. That is it going to go into price discovery, or is it just going to? Or right now you're sitting for something like that. You're at the 886. I mean, it's right. I mean, it's spot on. It's to the tick at the 886 that it got rejected. So again, harmonic people, most of just about everybody here, we're still using the same ratios. We're still using the same metrics. And again, I'm just trying to get my head around it because there's a lot of talk on X about meme coins, and I don't need to understand it, but I want to line this kind of stuff up where, if it's going to do it, or what's the definition of a parabolic move. We talked about this last time in gold, of just utilizing the framework and saying, okay, 314. I don't. I've seen astronomical targets from influencers on X that are shilling their bags, but this would be a way, if you want to have a clue of what is potentially going to happen here, folks. You're looking for something against that range for a 314 or 3618 breakout as a target, and I don't know about you, Pons, but I really think it's something where at one of these measured levels, you're selling half. I mean, I don't know if you do that, but yeah, there's got to be somewhere where you're selling half at some point, and if you really want to gamble and see if this goes, to let it ride, you're still going to sell half. If you're just as a kind of rule of thumb, if you're up, your position is doubled, and you have an opportunity where you can lose no money at all, then at a predetermined target, you're selling half and you just let the rest go, get allocate into something else, to let it ride. I don't know what you think about that. How do you do that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, with these meme coins too, like for example, this one, I think I got in around the bottom there, and I think I hit like a three, maybe a 4x on it recently, on the app U chart. And like you said, I did take out a little bit more than my initials, and I'm gonna have a free ride on this chart, for the remainder of the cycle. And I think with meme coins, a lot of it was me just having to kind of accept it. Last cycle, I traded them a little bit, but not near as much as I did this cycle. I traded on chain with meme coins. I also traded Doge and Shiba Inu and all those last cycle. And this one, I started to see that begin in early stages of how many more meme coins there were. And I think a really good strategy is when you do have your risk off the table, you can think more clearly and you're more willing to hold these to levels that you don't think could even happen with some of these meme coins that they've been going to. So definitely getting your risk off the table, but also still having your plan with your patterns and everything too, uh, is very essential. I mean, marking your charts out, having your Fibonacci extension levels, and saying, "Hey, this is my plan. I'm gonna take money out here, and then no matter how you feel when it hits that level, making sure you're taking some profit off the table." But yeah, definitely getting your risk out, and then if letting your winners run, I guess you could say too. I've had a lot of success with that. Like for example, just this trade. I mean, I was up a ton on a 2x, 3x. I've let it run. I've taken more than half of my initial off, and I'm gonna just go ahead and let this kind of run through the cycle until I see some severe weakness on it.
Are you looking at anything else? Bitcoin or anything like that, or as like a catalyst, or is it Solana, or what do you think of those exchanges
A catalyst, as in for what? For meme
for
coins
for
or the
more for,
market?
yeah, more FOMO? I mean, like, would you look at, if you have a meme coin on Solana, or do you, yeah, if you have Solana running, and there's a meme coin uh, on Solana, would you kind of equate that kind of rationale, or it's more of just looking around at what everyone's really
Well,
talking about?
definitely want to. I mean, do all the basics that I go through. I mean, I look at the DXY, like total three. When I see total three breaking out like it just did, on the higher time frame, and uh, then you're going to like Bitcoin dominance, and we've seen Bitcoin dominance where I mean, close to like 59% now. I think maybe a little bit higher on that potentially, but that's just where I think it's going to be better for alts because there's going to be more money being able to flow into it eventually. And then just patterns. I mean, I've been watching patterns a ton. I use patterns every day in my chart, and I even when I trade even the super low cap memes, I'm still using the patterns, and they're still there consistently.
Guys,
So just
sorry.
kind of using it all together.
Yeah, I want to bring something up. So I just pulled something from his feed. So here's what he was saying back in June 21 of dog with hat, whatever thing. And, here he's tracing it out. And I like the rationale. This is exactly the kind of thing I think you should be looking at, where that was the first push on that on WIF. And then you look at what happened. There's 2 months later, it came to fruition. There he goes, and that was down at like 120. So then you look at what happened. I mean,
Yeah, go to the
120.
chart now. If you pull up the chart now, it was that Gartley was around I think 118.
Yeah,
And if you look at the chart now, it was pretty much the exact bottom.
yeah,
Um,
you were way in front of that. I mean, and he sends me stuff. He's been sending me stuff all year long, and it's just it's definitely it's not these are not markets I would look at, but time and time again he's posting charts like this. I mean, here's on the 21st what he posted on the 21st. So it's doable, possible, and then you're getting the crazy action where that's just beautiful. Really, and then you look at this is where it was. I mean, it was, here's guys, here's June 21 coming down. There's the 21st as it's coming down. Didn't get there, but it did back in August, and he updated in August. So um, he's doing it all. I mean, I've seen so much stuff come from him. Even stuff like, hey, he sent me stuff like, yeah, this has got a $400,000 market cap. And then a month later, I get a chart. He's like, check it out. It's now $20 million market cap. And that's the kind of stuff where, all right, I'm not too old to learn about this. I'm not too old to just say, oh, this is garbage. It's not. It's moving. And the beautiful thing about it is that I think because it's all psychology driven, you've got you get perfect patterns like this, and then they get great moves. I think the 4 hour chart. What was this? Yeah, and even using like bullish to bearish stuff. Look, there it is. There's whiff on the 4 hour chart. Okay, and you could just use these for target. In August, software was kicking out a crab pattern on top of what was there on the daily, and then the targets of where we are 250 currently, and he's using the top of that range. I mean, look, he traced that one out, but I don't blame him. But you can just do T1, T2 on this type of stuff, and it is absolutely just remarkable. And I don't want to ignore it. I want to be, take a portion of what I'm doing, and I would look at this right now and say, okay, you run right into a bearish pattern, reaction back. But as we know, type 1, type 2 framework does not mean that that's an end all be all sell signal. If anything, I think we're going to have patterns that are going to give you reactions to, like, so here's whiff, target 1 is 214. There's another opportunity here after the reaction, because I've said this time and time again on things where let it do the reaction off the bearish pattern, and there's probably an even stronger opportunity to capture the return move, get some oversold confirmation, and go again. And some of the stuff isn't doing much. I mean, there's a lot of this garbage that's just flatlined. I call it cemetery crypto, but this other stuff that is moving, I think you can look at it and you can trade it this way. Do not FOMO just in, but I think there's a lot. I posted that list in the chat, and check out that list. I mean, I think those are the top 50 specifically meme coins that have that are trading pretty well. And I did want to show the crew this. What come back here. He was talking about that he uses Dex Screener. I guess what you're converting base crypto like Solana into the meme coins, and that's at dexscreener.com. Just check that out. I don't use that, although I did get on MEXC, which has most of everything. This is if you want to go super deep, in my opinion. Um,
Yeah, that's super deep. And then the only other thing I'd comment on that, Scott, is since some of these coins come out early, like on the blockchain first, before they get added to large exchanges, they don't have all of the data from the chart on the exchange, like on TradingView sometimes. That's the only benefit of maybe checking this as well as TradingView, because sometimes you can see all of the data on the chart where you can maybe find a pattern presenting itself that you might not find that's on TradingView. So sometimes you can find all the data here, you can find your pattern, then you can look at the TradingView and just mark that level and say, hey, this is where the pattern can complete. So maybe I'll set an alert on TradingView or something like that. But just I mean, even just from your book, the trade management of the harmonic patterns has been super ideal. Just setting alerts on TradingView with a lot of these meme coins and just taking the emotions out of it. Like with WIF and some of these others, they're forming those high time frame bullish Gartley patterns.
yeah.
And just setting your alerts on those and taking the emotion out of it. Say, okay, I've seen people talk about these. I know it's a meme coin. Maybe I don't trade those. I don't believe in it, but I can make money on it and I can manage my risk with just using the trade management system that Scott has provided in the books and just enter there and see what happens. And some of these, it's been working really well. So,
What are one or two names you're looking at right now that maybe we should take a peek at?
so to that, I mean, I'm currently in the PopCat meme and Mog are two of mine, and then the Appu one I just talked to you about. I've currently entered those already, and I've been in them, but I have taken a little bit off of them just to be a little risk free here going into the cycle in case we get a pullback. But I mean, ultimately, I think those look good. I can get a list sent over to you, but those are the three that I'm currently in at the moment.
Yeah, I was looking at. I mentioned this last time. Giga Chad, which is just hilarious. And what's funny or not funny is that I'm not in it, and it's 6x in a month. Okay, where can it
Yeah, that
go?
one's funny. It's funny. We talked about that on the phone earlier this week. That it's just a funny meme, and people just relate to it, or try to, or whatever, and it's just been going up only for a while now.
What caught my attention was it did give you a bearish pattern, and again, it's a bearish pattern actually with this kind of degenerate these degenerate markets actually can be your friend, because we know if you're going to get the reaction, then you use target one for the entry for the return play. Target one, type one reaction to target one, and then the return move. And this does what you really want to see. This would be the model that I'm looking now. I got set up with that with the MEXC a couple weeks ago, where I can get on all that, but it should do this kind of a thing. So from a strategy perspective, you're looking for reaction, let the air out of the tires, jump back in, because these are where real accelerations are going to come in. Here's your MOG, and this one had, again, check it out. Oh, look at that. There's MEXC. I wasn't set up a month ago, but that would be probably a better. Obviously, there's a T2 on the daily, a MOG coin. Now, again, if I wasn't talking to the Ponzi here, I would not be looking at this, but I will. And we are, in my opinion, the crypto thing is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It comes once every 4 years. And it helped me last time. And a friend of mine, again, friend of mine just told me about Doge, and that's how I was buying Doge at 0.004 cents, and then maybe I'll bring that up towards the end, and then got out at around 55.60 because of patterns and measurements. I'll do a I'll finish up on that, but so Moog, Apu, Here's one that I kind of like. I know people are maybe, don't, no judgment here, but I'm impressed with Mother, and I think that they found this is not maybe the biggest community that people would jump into, but it has a lot of the structure. It did the 886 all-time reset already. And again, she needs to do probably another party or something and come out with a couple of new ideas. I think I won't even say her name, but you guys know Iggy. I know her somewhat personally, but just think that she's doing stuff, and I've been very impressed with no matter what you think. I just she's running with a trend here, and she wants to do some things behind it that there's a pattern. Okay, and that's for me. I would never FOMO into just anything, but we've got two ways to look at this kind of stuff where the patterns will show up. We'll get opportunities on it. Here's this goat, and it blows my mind. I mean, goat was 5 cents. Now it's 80. I don't know how would you discover a goat thing to know that that's going to do something like that.
It's hard to find those. I mean, so I actually had a buddy that did discover it, and he just buys stuff on the chain. He doesn't trade too much on like any centralized exchanges or the deck or like Mexi or any of that. He is strictly buying coins and meme coins on the blockchain, and he got a hold of that one, and he ran an account up to $1 million with it, which is good for him. It was awesome to watch him win because he's been working really hard and doing all that. But it's hard to discover those. And then I mean, I've personally been trading a lot of these on chain as well. And there's other ones that are coming out behind this that are going to, I mean, they're going from like, this is really S coin, Scott, but $1 million market caps to 25 million market caps in a week. Sometimes a couple days that it's happening. And I think it's just people are they're wanting to get a big win. So they're going where the money is. And that's what I switched over to the last couple of weeks. I mean, I bought my spot bags, my hold bags for some of my main coins that I have, and then a few of the meme coins that I just listed. And then I've been looking at some of these other lower ones because there's just so much liquidity there right now. And that's where people are making the most money at the moment. So I don't want to just try to get stuck in my ways if the market's kind of evolving into that aspect at the moment, and just try to learn it. And then when it's time, go back to trading back on the exchanges like the Mexi and the other ones.
Do you think it matters if it's under a penny psychologically or under 10 cents? Do you think you see any correlation like that where you should be looking for those fractional penny stuff to go to 5 cents or 10 cents because people just intuitively don't have a problem? Oh, they'll just think, oh, it's a penny or it's 2 cents. So, um, does that
So
make any
I
sense?
think I think it does play some type of role into it if it, especially if it's like towards the end of the cycle and things are at like going up to like 15 cents or something like that, and they're trying to push it up. I mean, I remember with Doge, everybody was saying it was going to $1. I think it does play some type of like mental psychology with it, but I think the most important part is just making sure that you're finding like a coin that does actually have like a cult formed around it. It's organic. It's maybe had a couple multiple 70% retracements and it's in the life of the meme coin or the coin, and you've seen it been able to come back from there. I feel like that kind of shows me that it does have like a stronger narrative behind it. People are willing to buy this thing even if it's going back down 70%. Because some of these they'll go up and then they go down 70% and then they just start dwindling down to nothing. I mean, there's many of those that don't make it to the exchange and you don't hear about them. I think that's important. Is just making sure that you get those impulse moves up. It does drop a ton, and if it keeps coming back and it shows people are willing to buy this thing. I mean, that just shows like in Bitcoin, you can go back. There's multiple drops. Any chart you look at, and if they keep going up, there's a reason why they're buying it. So, and these
Here,
are obviously short time frame versus something that you want to invest long term in.
no
Like
doubt.
they
What?
are meme coins.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is somewhat like lottery tickets. It's somewhat roulette wheel. It's not even craps, but I would look at here's Nero. So I'm just going through a couple. I like that, at 1.4 tenths of a penny. That has a lot of things where, to me, it's already starting to move. It's done a pullback, and it's got a nice pattern on the hourly. And we've seen it before. Look, the last time it was at crazy, crazy, crazy. Did a 10x, and then it did pull back where 9 thousandth of a penny with a beautiful Gartley, and then it continues. So the way that I would think about this is that we know we're in crazy land here, about to go ballistic, especially if things work out nicely a week from Tuesday. That this is going to be full on like degenerate moves that people are going to just throw cash, and it's the whole you're on an uptrend. This is like a crazy IPO. That's the way I think about it, especially for me, I'm older. I, made some bones in the 90s with the .com stuff where you could buy any retracement pattern. And that's what we're looking at now. I mean, that's the kind of environment and the logic where you wait for a retracement pattern and you hit it the retracement pattern and you're looking for all of these to do this kind of, 1618 spiral thing like that one was at 2618. Yeah, 2618. Know the numbers, guys. If I'll circle back on a couple of resource items, but that is our logic here: is that retracement, extreme projection, retracement, extreme projection. So Nero, it comes down, and then the next projection. Look at it like 1618 to 2618. The 1618, that's a minimum move for all of these, and then if that's a 2618 advance, which is not it looks crazy now, but you're talking 4 cents from where you are, 1.4 to 2618. And the extreme numbers are 2618, 314, 3618. Build your zone out like that. I would be inclined to say, if this is just an example, but if you're looking to go here at 1.4 thousandth of a penny, okay, doesn't seem like much, but you're going to want to take it off. Take maybe, I think, a chunk, like take 20% off at the 1618, then try to let the rest go to 2618, and then you're out half the position at the 2618. No matter what happens, it comes back. That was one I caught. Oh, you're the one that got me on the Myro deal, where you're like, yeah, check out Myro and Brett, and
Yep.
these were, I know you posted on that, but Myro, in the beginning of the year had a great pattern. You drew my attention to it, and here's Myro again
It's got a
with
huge one now, right?
massive bat, and that's at like
On the
6.7.
daily, I think. Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's remarkable. And then the other one was that caught my attention was this Pika Moon. I don't make the names up, but I'm willing to look at these. So Pika Moon's like this crazy thing at four. What's that? 4 thousandths of a penny for 100 thousandths of a penny. Yeah, it's not even
I've
half.
actually never heard of this one.
I saw this. I went through all the Mexi ones, and I got a couple of things here. Maybe it was Punky,
Ponky's
Ponky.
a good one. They have a very big like social media presence, which is why I think they've been doing super well. But another one you should add is I think this one's pretty good too. It's called Mumu. It's MUMU. If you want to add it to your list, it's a bull mascot. So they're using a bull mascot for the bull market, which is what everybody's talking about. So I got some of that one not too long ago too, which is a good one to add. It's also on Mexi.
Get out of here. All right. Hey, I like that because it did the big thrust up, and check out the crab pattern here. Really nice crab pattern that just put in a T1, came back for the two that hasn't even done the moon yet, but and then where to come out like a gazillionth of a penny, probably. So why aren't we minting our own coin? Give me a reason why. I don't.
Because it's probably illegal.
I
I
mean,
don't know, honestly. I guess you could. I don't know the stipulations behind it. I just personally have been trading them, but I don't know. A lot of people I feel like do their own, but
I don't think I've
I've
really got a
never
following.
thought about it. Yeah.
Should we do a harmonic coin? Would you guys buy that? Would you put in $100 or $500? I'll give you maybe everybody that buys $500 a harmonic. Now, if I say it, someone's going to go do it and go mint it probably. But yeah, there's a lot of things. I do notice that they do a lot of the coins through uh, charitable organizations, 501(c)(3)s, which is genius. But you know, I'm look, if that's how it's going to be, and we're going to build communities around this stuff, um, why not? Um, Let me give you guys a couple more here. Turbo, look at that. Turbo was another one. I went through a bunch of these. Turbo, I don't know, but it's a pullback. It's a pattern, and it's something else amazing. 4/10 to four. I don't even think that started yet. I'm gonna just show you guys what harmonic ideas, and a lot of this came from scrounging through .com things in the late 90s, early 2000s of ways to discern from a harmonic pattern perspective why this stuff, how can this set up. And one of the things that I've mentioned before with using RSI, that as a just kind of as a way to differentiate overbought conditions, and that's through, can you look at your last signal here? And this is, I'm just kind of just riffing off the top, but this is an important thing. I've mentioned this with Bitcoin before. When you get an overbought condition, okay, up here, this is amplified RSI. I'm not even talking about HSI. Let me expand this, because this definitely has all the properties of what you want to see. And let's say you get overbought, which these frequently do. How do you know if it's going to actually do a return? Well, can you draw out an M formation there? Yes. Does it go to the 50? Yes. Then what you want to see is typically have this thing come back down and then play it on the breakout, the oversold. I mean, to me, Turbo, a lot of things here where it's cracking above the 50, we see acceleration, and the idea is to be looking for the return of that. It did it here. Look, it did it on the preceding. I won't even show the price just yet, but you have this M formation like that on complex structure. This one goes to the 50, and then as soon as it breaks out, turns back up. Now let's look at where the price is. Right there. I mean, that is it defined, and that's one of the ways I'm looking at these, because I don't know. I don't know the community. I don't even have the time to go through and say, all right, this community is better than that, or their mascot's better than the other mascot. I like frogs over dogs, kind of a thing. No, I want to break it down to the price. HSI has been extremely helpful too. So at this point, I'd be on 4-hour charts, and everything that I said about, if you're looking for that kind of retracement opportunity, that your idea is you're buying it on that retracement after it's already moving. It goes to a 1618 minimum. Look at that. First target 1618. I mean, almost to the tick. And then ideally to the 2618, 314. There's 2618 right there. 314. No, that did a 3618. But screw it. You go with the 2618 as a minimum and look to reload. And those are just a few ideas of how to be playing these kind of accelerated trends until crypto hasn't even done its move. So I think the window is open. You can run with stuff like this in this environment. If this was, if Bitcoin had peaked out already, and then we were, already rolling over, then I'd say this window has been closed, much like what Doge did after the fact. Doge, I'll bring it up in a second. I'll just do a quick review of all of my posts from a few years ago, where when Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live, that was the ultimate sell signal, and Bitcoin had already peaked out. But that's just those are some ideas of because it's really easy to get caught up and just throw it in there. Here's another one. This is that lock in on the 4 hour. I don't have you heard of that?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Nice. So lock in here, already done a crazy move. And where'd it come out at? Are you kidding? Half a penny. But that's okay. That's okay because this is the kind of thing that Doge did. It went to half a penny, then it went to three, came back to 1.5, then it went to 7.8, and it spent time at 7.8, and then after the seven to eight, and I had traded Doge aggressively. That's when it then did the big move up to 60, 65. So that's got a bat pattern right there, and that's around 4.7. So I like that. And do we have a complex preceding it? We kind of do. It's not as clean. And you can do this on RSI. You're just not going to get as many signals, but I'd be looking at this like right here. That's important right there. Looking for the return move. There was one other one. Is it this Manicky? Yeah. And that was amazing. That was just 2 weeks ago. So that's a double. Manicky, ever hear that?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't looked at that one in a little bit though, but I know it is it's so weird talking about these things like this, especially on like a podcast where we're going over like strict risk management and rules and trading patterns. But yeah, it's a cat coin. Um, so people are saying that the dog cycle was last cycle. Now they're going to have a cat cycle, and cat coins are going to go crazy. But yeah, it is a meme coin for a cat. But I've heard
Okay.
of it. Yes.
All right. This is getting ridiculous. I agree. But
It's ridiculous every time I talk about it, and sometimes it's like even I'll talk with my girlfriend about it. She's like, "What are you talking about? Like, is it a cat coin or a dog coin?" And it gets ridiculous. But the way to look at it is, I mean, they're going up. It could be a bubble. It's probably a bubble. It's probably going to zero by the end of the cycle. How can you capitalize on it? And that's what Scott's going over is you have these patterns that are forming on these. So if you can find some of them and trade the patterns, you can make a good amount of money on them. Obviously, you can keep, if you're used to trading the other ones, you can keep a good portion of your portfolio, obviously, in those areas. But it doesn't hurt to take small amounts and trade some of these because they are having perfect patterns. Like I'm seeing perfect patterns on all of these meme coins across the board, and it's just so easy to capitalize on some of these.
yeah, that's what's got me. I mean, just a couple of things I think people should look for. Did it have a full 886 reset? That's a really good place to start. And then do you have some confirmation down here or on the 4 hour like this? Like you had that full reset down here, and then look at how many times I don't know. This thing put in some really nice patterns. Even the last one just a couple weeks ago, and down there like what? It's at a half a penny, I guess. And hey, I think it's a couple $100 for most people in here just to speculate, and this is pure speculation, but this is the kind of thing maybe we'll circle back in a month or two. But I would look at this as like go to 1618 above a penny, and then 2618 is much higher. But if that's the way you're going to play it, because it's like 1618 first stop stair step, and then gun for the 2618. I think just pre limit order, preset a limit order at those prices, and then you're out at half of it at 2618 and let the rest ride. That's just not a bad way to speculate, and you're just waiting for patterns to come to you. Are definitely ways to go. Here's this blub, and this is another one where has it just came out what a week or two ago. So blub here did the crazy. That's your speculative. Everyone's FOMOing move. Did it do an 886? Great. Now we can start to rebuild. And in this case, you've got some patterns down here at I can't even say that at whatever 8 billionths of a penny, whatever that is. Um, but that's the thought behind it. I'm not. I don't favor any of these specifically. Go back to that turbo thing that had a really nice pattern dynamics down there. Was that hourly chart? I think it was a shark down here. Shark, shark, shark. Yeah, there you go. So, and that's the rationale here. You're down here, a couple $100, whatever. Why? Because that's at a penny, and you're looking for this to do a spiral move where even if it did something insane, you're there, preset 1.6, then next one 1.6, or limit sell half the position out, at the 1.6 cents, and then a little bit more. I mean, these are, if you're doing this kind of spiraled crazy speculative FOMO stuff, 1.6 and another chunk at 2, and then just keep the rest out. By then you should have your money back, um, because you don't know. I don't know how high that can go. What's the again the oh geez, look at that. It's already done insane. That's already done an insane move of where that came out last a year ago. Turbo. I don't know. You ever hear Turbo?
Yep.
And who's their mascot? An engine?
Uh, I forget exactly. I know this one was like, I'm pretty sure it was like a coin created by AI. Like it created it, if I'm not mistaken. But it's been a while since I've looked at this one. But it's like a little frog or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I just think, look,
There's so many of them. It's it's hard to keep up with a lot of them. But I mean, this one's performed really well too. Just looking at the chart, obviously.
yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, this is for anticipating a self-fulfilling cycle, that a self-fulfilling proposition that that people are going to throw money at this stuff. It's clearly already started. I mean, you see it on social media, and people are talking about it where they're willing, and they're going to talk their bags just to get things moving. But it's something where if you want to speculate in crypto, I think it's worth the look. And it just, low floating kind of setups that have already revealed themselves, in my opinion, where they're doing crazy things. There's the Moog thing of, if we could find some more patterns like that, and that's a 1-2 on the daily. Look, if you're this is just in August, I think that was one you sent to me too, where you're looking at it and like, oh, that looks like garbage, total garbage. Oh, wait, there you go, there you go, there you go. Oh, it's probably done. No, no. I mean, that is the kind of rationale. It is. I think it is time to look at this stuff in that regard, because um, you can't. I mean, personally, just I don't want to not speculate because of the fact that I don't know anything about this, or it just seems so degenerate, so speculative. But I think the only way to think about it is, look, you're going to allocate a small amount of capital, and you add into it as you increase profits, and you're taking off part of the position along the way. I mean, that's and with the 1618 or 2618 kind of idea, those are things to be involved with. The way to be involved with it. Here's another one: Bone Shiba Swap.
Yeah, another one. Another thing I was gonna maybe mention, Scott, is the guy Murad on Twitter. Maybe just like watching the video pinned to his profile, just to kind of get what he's talking about with memes, because or he puts out lists too, because you could even take those lists or the one that Scott has here and just scan them for the patterns. I mean, you don't have to believe in it, but if he has a list that people are looking at, and with all these meme coins, you can maybe just start with those and just start looking for patterns on those, and maybe seeing how it works for you on those patterns, just with those certain coins that he has you, so you don't look for all the way in the dumpster, if you guys aren't used to trading meme coins.
Yeah, I think so. He's one of the ones that caught my attention where he was talking about this. I think he really there's a pretty good list that I went through that he had, that people are listening to it. I don't have to say it's correct. I don't have to, I don't have to believe in it other than he has people's attention. I've been through this cycle successfully last time, and if we have anything close to what we had 4 years ago, yeah, this stuff will move, and I do have ideas on how to get into it without, getting burned or even just, just FOMOing into it. You can have a little discipline, a little strategy to it. So he's must stop Murad on X, and I don't know who he is, where he came from, but he's got a huge following and people are responding. And again, it's like if you want to get into the crypto cycle and speculate with this, that's somebody to follow. Again, I think it's worth it for guys. For me, last time, and I might as well do this. Let me see if I can bring up some of the stuff that I was talking about last cycle on the Doge stuff because yeah, that was my big winner on Doge, and I think that's a boomer meme coin at this point. It's so here's where did you go? All right, let me go all the way back. Oh, I got a lot of people posted on that. I guess where I started with that was 2020. And I'd have to go back. I can't pull it up. I'd have to go back and oh wait, hold on. Let me bring this up 1 second. Mm. No, I'm not going to search for it. I'll have to bring that up another time. But yeah, really interesting stuff. And I will try to highlight some stuff that in the days and weeks to come, especially if things really start to move. I think it's a place to look where it's kind of crazy. It seems actually a stupid endeavor, but having really profited last cycle from that, don't have your a closed mind on stuff like this. It's I think it's worth it, especially the fact if we were not in a Bitcoin cycle, post halving cycle here for the next 6 months, it wouldn't be an area I'd be fishing in. But since we're on that verge of actually really seeing this stuff come to fruition, it's worth it. So uh, thanks, Pons. I appreciate you to the show. Again, appreciate you. Everybody get over and check him out. Lieutenant Ponzi over on X here. It's at Lieutenant Ponzi. And give him a subscribe, a follow, please. And we'll come back in a month or two and see where we are with these. And again, if there's anything that you want me to share, send it over.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And then we'll talk soon. And if there's anything that comes my way, I'll send it over.
All right.
Have a good one, guys.
You too. Take care, everybody. Thanks. All right. Total waste of time to look at those or no? No. I really think we're getting really close. And you don't, even if you're not into it yet, take a hard look. I just think it's just speaking from experience. Had I not gotten into Doge last time, I probably would not have pulled away or been as involved with crypto as I am now. And it was a game changer for me on that last cycle. What do you guys have? I didn't really spend much time. Didn't give you guys the attention you needed. If you guys want to look at some symbols, let's put them out. And yeah, a great guy. Really, Lieutenant Ponzi's a great guy. You guys have a couple things you want to look at? Let me know. Yeah, GOAT is pumping. SK, what's up, Justin? Looking at SKIBDI. I've got that on the list. That was a new one that I just, what is that? Skibbity toilet. Okay, nice. Here we go. Refined Finance 101. Does it have anything that we want to look at? Do we have oversold condition? Do we have any bullish pattern? Anything there? Not really, not yet. I think didn't the Popcat have something recently? Popcat, yeah, it did. This is shark. I had a shark down there. It was a type 2 shark at 123. And your traditional ones like Pepe and Shibu, those have big market caps. So I do think market cap has an issue here. These other bigger meme coins, they could go. But I do think the market cap situation, there's something to it. And let's just kind of go over here where let's look at the go to coin market cap. Okay, and I would suggest looking at the market caps that are certainly under a billion, maybe under even under 100 million, because then you've got room to grow. And I don't, again, I don't have any of these that are I could mention right there, like cat whiff hat. I think there's why. Well, it's kind of copycat. And I think the way the psychology works with some of these is that people are going to look at the price. Is it under a penny? Is it under a fraction of a penny or thousandths or whatever of a penny? And then your market cap here at 28 or 30 billion, something like that. They will run in sympathy. Why is that the Doge Gov? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more of what stuff that sounds the same. And, I mean, Toshi, I'm just going off the top of my head. Let me look at one or two of these. Just see if we can find something that's interesting. I think that Turbo, that's one. All right, Toshi's not on MEXC. I'm on MEXC. But here's Toshi on CoinX. That's got, look, there you go. We got patterns galore. So take the list, run through the list. I will spend a little time on this stuff, but remember the things I was saying. Okay. Did it come out yet? Has it been trading for a few months? Yes. Did it come through with some kind of reset? Some kind of 886 reset? That's another way to say, okay, FOMO first cycle over. You've seen it before in some of these others. This is something completely off the top of my head. I have no idea what this is, but it did satisfy that. So there, the 886, yes, it did. It's kind of like a T-coin proposition here. And then there you are at 1.2 currently. What about a 4-hour chart? Anything there on the 4-hour? A couple things, yeah. And then you younger folks that are into these community style stuff, you guys probably know even more than probably have better sources of information than even I do. But those are a couple of ways to look at that. What's the other one? It was it Samo? Samo, yeah, Samo had this. I know that's been through a whole bunch. That's only on Gemini, but yeah, I mean this stuff is already run. Come all the way back from an 886. Okay, I'm just kind of trying to find things that at least have done that sequence of price action moves. And there's Sundog. I don't know what that is. Not an 886. So, yeah, maybe I'd take a look at it. But there's a really nice shark pattern down at 20 cents. And whether it's a cat cycle or dog cycle doesn't really matter. I'm just looking for things that have setup, that have volume, a couple 100 million. Was it Pang? Pang is another one. Yeah, that caught my attention. Why? Because this one it did a big first thrust move, and this is exactly a situation where the pattern, okay, of doing a first pullback can reset and go again. What do we need to look for? Well, T1 at 18, it's a little bit below. I'd be inclined to actually wait for that turnaround breakout where this thing could go back and retest 25 cents and look at, yeah, 4 hour or daily even. Or have they turned up? Not yet. Not yet. One or two more. What do you guys have? Go. Wojak. I saw that. Wojak is here. Wojak. I remember Kojak, if anybody remembers that. Telly Savalas. I'm dating myself. But there you go. Yes. And we don't have to have a heck of a lot at the moment, but clearly this thing's got some buying behavior behind it. And have we done? We did that. Look at that. Come back. There's not a full 886, but that's been around for a little while. That's pretty remarkable. Yeah, look. There's from a year ago. Amazing. But there's still another opportunity. There's another opportunity where at a 4/10 or 4,000th of a penny, probably not quite there yet, but I'm looking, guys. I'm looking. I wish I could pull up the old posts on the Doge to show you because it was something where I said, sure, I'll go in a couple thousand and then increase that as I went along on Doge. I mean, my first position on Doge actually was like 6 million Doge at fraction of a penny, but let me see if I can bring that up. Go to the old ones. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'll do this another time because it really was. I mean, I'm really speaking from experience, and I don't want to be dismissive on it and just say, okay, yeah, no, ignore this stuff. I think this is just an absolute unique situation where we're coming into this and we're definitely going to see money get thrown in a way where if the mania takes off, it's worth it. It's worth a look, and that's half the battle. Finding these kind of opportunities. I will save this for another time. I really wanted to show also the the reasons why I sold because I sold a bunch of that at perfect patterns. I'm gonna have to wait on it. Anything else? Kojak, yeah. Oh yeah, Kojak. What's up, Ray? Ray Grok. Ray, I did see Grok. GROK. And I don't have that in my list. But Grok is like this. It should be on my list. Beautiful, man. Thank you, Ray. So there's Grok, and there's a beautiful example. Beautiful example. Everything you want to see here. And it's exactly the kind of stuff we described. Okay, did it do a cycle? An 886 cycle? Sure did. Came all the way back down. 886 satisfies that. Back up. And again, why not again? You're at half a penny. Excuse me, half a penny with a daily bat pattern. Could we go back and do another 886? Yes. That thing gets moving. And what's the thing we've talked about? Can we get HSI back up? I mean, this is also something else with the software, guys, that will help can we get it like that? Or even, I would think, the weekly. And this is the weekly is above. So I like that. Half a penny, Grok. That's on MEXC. For people in the United States, if you want to get on MEXC, use a VPN. There's very little verification there. So get on MEXC with a VPN. But here's also something I would look at. The same thing we're looking with Bitcoin and all the others. Can you get above the 50 levels to where you could have acceleration? Because even something like this, maybe it was a week, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that actually was the first time we would consider this 886. But that's a good one. I like that. What's up, Daniel? Looking at Pond, P-O-N-D. I don't have that one on the list. P-O-N-D. Is that really like a meme coin? Pond. Oh, Marlin. That's on Coinbase. That thing's been through. Hasn't that been through the ringer? Pond on Coinbase, no less. Yeah. Okay. Nice one to look at. I did think that I do remember that having a move pre-cycle first half of the year, at half a penny to 4, a little above 4. That's a nice 8x. Okay, this is a good one to look at. Why? Are we above the 50 or below the 50? Well, we just clipped the 50, but look at amplified. We want both of those above the 50. And this would be a good way to speculate on the stuff. Again, that's hit the 50, rolled over, amplified's not there. That is different from a year ago, okay, where you're above the 50 there. Okay, and you're clipping the 50 for the first time there. Just put your cursor where the price is. It's been a really effective way to know if something's going to run or not. And of course, you pierce the 50 and then you really break out. Well, look, that's almost obvious. Okay, and you're still had massive price acceleration. We'll see that. We'll definitely see that. What's up, Jeremy? Welcome to the stream here. ACHR USD. I don't know that one. I don't. Is that? Don't know that. Is it? It's not Ace Coin. I mean, Alchemy Pay, but is ACH, and that's one of the ones we're definitely on for our T coin list. Alchemy Coin, ACH. That's under 2 cents, but that is one that's on our T coin list. And like I said, wait for both HSI to get above the 50 there, and this one's banging against the 50 level. Look, as soon as that pops, and these are weekly readings, then you know you've got some serious action behind it, and ACH is weekly oversold, and you got patterns. I mean, ACH has got a big bat pattern. It just hasn't moved yet. You need that weekly force to get above that level for it to really run. Oh, it's a stock? Yeah, let's save stocks for Tuesday. Today we just wanted to go degenerate crypto before the things start to moon. That's the whole base of it. Marinade, MNDE for famous Jameis. Welcome, Jameis. Marinade, MNDE at 11 cents here. Where are we? Hey, I like that action. This is encouraging. We haven't moved yet. We're daily oversold. What's the weekly look like? Okay, weekly, there you go. I mean, this is almost doing a full 886, but a really easy way that I've been showing people with the software, how do we know stuff's going to move? You got to get above the 50 level. We did that with Bitcoin. We're doing that with Bitcoin. And HSI is above the 50 level. Can that turn back up? And again, let that happen first. Let that happen first. Then you know you've got some serious weight that can move behind it. I think they're all scams. I agree with that. Look, don't get me wrong. This is massive degenerate speculation. And I said this, that if we weren't entering the Bitcoin cycle, we would not even be wasting our time. But stuff is moving. I mean, crazy percentage moves. They're moving. So what's a way to be prudent about it? Wait for retracements. Line up for things like getting weekly signals clearly moving in your direction. Okay, and minimize percent capital invested. If it's $100 or a couple $100, that's fine. Okay, because yeah, and the other reason thought of preset targets taking half out that covers your initial investment. Okay, all of that makes sense because yes, they're all scams. And I'm surprised that the government has let it go on this long, but you don't fight it. It's like the .com thing from the late 90s where everything was a .com was coming out as an IPO was attracting money. And that's the market. I mean, it's not I don't make the rules, but I will go with the flow. And I think, stuff like this SPX thing, I mean, that's ridiculous. And I know that Murad guy is just shilling his bags, and however he got out in front of the community to get this stuff running, he's talking out his ass, no doubt. But this stuff is moving. I mean, I knew Doge was garbage at 60 cents, but it went for me, basically I traded it three major times, three major swings on Doge. And I never made so much on one instrument in my life, flat out. I'm willing to look. And we're at that point in the cycle where we're post-halving. Bitcoin's supposed to get those bids really soon. And so I'll look at garbage like this. 6 months from now, hell no. 6 months from now, if I'm in any of this stuff and it's running, I'll be looking to get out. And I'm actually of the opinion we're about to begin. And it'll take us, as I said, to the end of January, maybe the end of the first quarter, and that's about it. That's about it. So, hey, Christoph, let's look at IO. What's IO? IO Tether, IO Net. Maybe not necessarily a meme coin, but wow. Okay, not bad. I think with a lot of things like this, where's the weekly? So I don't know what that's on Coinbase. It looks like you're not above the 50 yet. So, okay. I'll highlight more of these guys. I really think that it's things that I would want to bring to your attention. Here's this Maneki. Okay, this is what has my attention on Maneki. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm just preparing the list to talk about this garbage. These are the things that have my attention. We're above the 50 level. And now check it out. Okay. Amplified 10 days ago, maybe even last week, we're above the 50. And that's under a penny. Okay. That's 7.8 tenths of a cent. Also, all the properties harmonically, in terms of what we're talking about cycles, types of cycles, 886. Okay, your FOMO cycle had the full reset. Now let's go again. Where could we go? Can you do a 1618, 2618? Maybe. And that's just one of many. I'll highlight more as we go. I'm never going to spend this much time on this garbage ever again, but I will highlight special situations. Follow Lieutenant Ponzi on X. He's more in touch with this stuff than me. He's the guy that's like, he's like my other friend from the last cycle who told me about Doge. Pons has showed me some things that I was like, yeah, right, okay, I'm not into it right now. I don't have tolerance to look at this garbage. And then they do crazy moves. So he's got my attention. Yeah. We'll come back on Tuesday, guys. Yeah, we'll talk Tesla. We'll talk the rest of them. I mean, Tesla's a monster. I think that was the low of lows. And, we'll get into more of these. All right. But get ready. Look, things are only going to get crazier from here. We need to be in front of this. And I'll highlight maybe in our crypto discussion, special situations only. I'll never spend this much time on this garbage ever again. But speculative opportunities in crypto, I'm all about that. Thanks, everybody. You guys, great one. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday, and we will get ready for that election to come. Okay, as always,